Hello everybody. I'm struggling with this vlog. I have a lot of things to say, and yet I'm not sure what it is I want to say to get my point across exactly as I mean it. A lot of things have happened in the last 2 weeks, as you all know. And of course, I implore all of you to stand up for what's right. It's the least we can do. And there are many ways in which we can do that. I'll leave links below with suggestions and sites that you can read up on how to help in the current situation. In our renewed vigor in fight against racism, because racism's always been an issue, always. The country I'm from, the Netherlands, has huge issues with racism. Not just towards people of color, but other cultures as well. And it's one of the reasons that I could not bear living in that country anymore. But I was lucky, and I am lucky, because nobody judges me for the color of my skin. And I was lucky enough to move to a city, Bristol in the UK, where they're very, very friendly and very tolerant in general. Of course, it still has issues, but it could have been a lot worse. I am very lucky to live here. And I went out to the protest for Black Lives Matter yesterday. I've had a mix of people react to that, of course. And I do understand everybody's concern when it comes to COVID. Of course, I want everyone to stay safe, as well as myself, because I am a risk. But everybody was very sensible. 80% of the crowd was wearing masks, as far as I could see. Almost the entire time I kept the required distance. During the protest, we marched for 5 hours. It was incredible. There were over 10,000 people present, and it was peaceful, and the police let us be, which was amazing. And of course, with anything like this, when you stand up and you're trying to get your point across, sometimes it doesn't, and you give the wrong idea. I've had it from my point of view, I've had it from other points of view. Sometimes it's very hard to put in words what it is you mean, and especially if it is not your first language. Sometimes my English falls short, and I know it sounds weird when I say that because my basic English is pretty good after living in the UK for so long. Because of my cognitive issues, I sometimes don't understand certain things that are being said or certain words that are being used, and vice versa. So sometimes I can sound very basic and I don't know exactly how to eloquently express exactly what I mean or what I say, and mental tiredness comes into place with that as well. And it's not excuses, it's just explaining why sometimes things kind of get confused. And it goes both ways. Sometimes I confuse other people's replies with something that they don't mean because I just don't process it the right way, or I read it wrongly, or they cannot express themselves the way they want to. It's very difficult. And so this vlog is very difficult for me because I don't want to say anything that gives the wrong idea, but I don't want to remain quiet on YouTube because I've been very vocal everywhere else. I've been very vocal on Twitter, I've been very vocal on Instagram and on Facebook, my personal Facebook. And people know that I'm always, always, always for human rights, equal rights, human rights. I don't see color, I don't see gender, I don't, for me, a person is a person. If you're a good person, then you have my support. If your intentions are true and you're there for the greater good and you don't do harm to people or animals, you have me on your side. Doesn't matter if you're religious or not, what color of skin you have, which country you're from, it doesn't matter to me. If you're a good person, that's all that matters to me. And that's all that should matter. But it doesn't seem to be. And I'm not even the person that is being attacked. I'm not even the person that has to live this reality day in, day out since the day that I were born. I'm not even living it, and I am exhausted. If you think about what they go through and what they have to do to get equal rights and get equal chances, and then not even getting it after fighting so hard for it. And it's 2020, and it's just ridiculous. It's like we've not moved on. We just pretend, but it's not really. And it's absolutely crazy. And that's why the UK has a lot of issues. And of course, it's not holy and it's not innocent. And same with Bristol, it's not innocent. But compared to where I'm from, it is a lot nicer than a lot of other places. And I was really proud of Bristol for coming out in such support during such a difficult time. I have been debating with myself for a week at least whether I should go or not. I was very worried going when I eventually made the decision, but I also knew that I had to stand up for what was right. And everybody who was there probably had the same debate with themselves. And I understand people are frustrated with that, and I understand that it may come across as being two-faced about the whole quarantine situation. I get that, but it was necessary. It's not like I went out on the street to argue about the fact that I had to be quarantined, or the fact that I want a haircut, so I want quarantine to be over. It was not a frivolous reason, it was not a shallow reason, it was a huge, huge reason to go out and protest. I'm not condemning those who are fighting for their livelihoods. I'm not saying that, because I know that is a point that was made to me, and I don't mean that at all. I just mean the people that went out to actually protest the fact that they couldn't go out to have a burger, or they couldn't go out to have their hair cut. That is ridiculous. And of course, there should be a huge focus on police brutality as well. In general, not just for people of color, but in general. But my main focus at the moment is the Black Lives Matter movement, and we should listen to them. And we should try not to divert the attention away from it. There was another thing that I had an issue with, which is the phrase, all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter. Of course they do. Everybody knows they do. I'm not saying it doesn't. They don't say it doesn't. But if you listen to that phrase, all lives matter, if they really did, then why do Black lives not matter as much? And that's the problem. And that's why they came up with that phrase. I'm here to just say that we should be there for each other. We should not discriminate because of someone's skin. That's absolutely ridiculous. And why is this still a thing? Why are we still protesting this? Why is this still a problem in society, not just in America, but worldwide? It is worldwide. It is absolutely incredible. And I can't wrap my head around that. I don't understand. And that's what I'm fighting for. And that's what I want you to fight for. And everybody else to fight for. Is that equality. The understanding that racism is still so deeply ingrained in society. I have the energy to be angry anymore. I'm just sad and disappointed and heartbroken. And again, I'm not even living that reality. I'm just witnessing it. And as much as I try, as much as I do, and as much as I say, we all have to stand strong in this together. We can make that positive change. We can make that difference. Just say something. Retweet something. Make a statement. Let them know they're not alone. Let them know you don't agree with people being treated like this. Just let them know. I'm not saying endanger yourself or push yourself to the limits where you break. Don't do that either. I'm not saying that. And I would never suggest that. But if you can do anything, say something. I am incredibly tired of this. Aren't you? Tired of injustice. Tired of racism, discrimination, and hatred. I just wish people could see that when we stand together, you can make that change. You really can. But even signing petitions that are going around right now, donating if you can to charities that help in these matters, being extra supportive of people in your own life that go through these problems. Listen to them. We need to listen to them. And luckily, I know that my community is very kind-hearted. And I hope you will all do your bit to help in this fight. As I said, I'll leave links below on how to support, even when you're not able to do that much. Something is better than nothing. Remember that. Because all those little bits add up. They really do. And it means so much. Don't let it fade away once it's not trending anymore. Because I've been fighting this all my life. Have you? And if you haven't, don't you think it's time to?